The steel rod inside Sarah hardened with each soulless chime of the office clock. Today, the charade was coming to an end. For 6 months she had glided like a shadow through this glittering kingdom of others' ambitions, with mop and bucket in hand, but with an unquenchable fire in her soul. Here, in the epicentre of business hustle, Sarah, a top student, secretly from Evelyn, her single mother, was scrubbing away others' tracks to ease their endless struggle against hardship just a little. Evelyn, her fragile but unbreakable Evelyn, who had dedicated her life so that Sarah wouldn't know the bitterness of deprivation, would never have approved. "Your degree is your weapon, my child," she would repeat, unaware that Sarah was already sharpening a different kind of blade. Sarah watched. The impeccable suits, the icy smiles, the deals being made behind glass walls. She absorbed the rhythm of this world, saw mistakes she wouldn't make herself, heard ideas she could develop. The vacancy in the promising developments department, which everyone on the floor was talking about, was her chance. In 2 months, it was Evelyn's 40th birthday. Sarah dreamed of seeing her beautiful mother, looking like a movie star from an old film, in a new dazzling dress, not the single suit that had served her faithfully for far too long. Determination burned within her. She knew the reputation of Mr. Harrison, the owner of this business iceberg. She knew about his poisonous sarcasm and outbursts of rage that could incinerate. She had seen Eleanor Vance, the lead analyst, stumble out of his office after Mr. Harrison publicly mocked her provincial mannerisms, adding that, along with her cheap perfume, she seemed to have aired out any remnants of common sense. His words carried an Arctic chill, but Sarah locked her fear away. Lunch break. The reception area was empty. The door to Harrison's office was slightly ajar. Her heart hammered against her ribs like a trapped bird. Sarah knocked and entered. Harrison, leaning back in a massive leather chair, was idly sipping cognac from a snifter. The amber liquid in the crystal decanter shimmered ominously. "A bit early for the evening clean, doll-face," he drawled, barely opening his heavy eyelids, his words slurring slightly. Sarah froze, a chill spreading through her. Not the time, but it was too late to back down. An inner voice commanded, "Speak! Mr. Harrison, I know about the open position in the developments department." Her voice trembled, but didn't break. "I've studied the requirements. I'm confident I can handle it. Please give me a trial period." Mr. Harrison slowly set down his glass. His eyes, clouded with alcohol, focused on her with unconcealed astonishment, turning into a malicious smirk. He didn't know her name. Her blue uniform smock said it all. "What ambition from our clean-up fairy," he boomed, and Sarah heard the curious employees outside freeze. "Miss Davies!" he roared, making the windows rattle. "What the hell is going on here? Are we recruiting staff from the trash bin now?" Pale Miss Davies, his secretary, rushed into the office, freezing at the threshold with a look of horror. Harrison locked his gaze back onto Sarah. "Where does such spunk come from, darling? And such naivety? I don't even know how to turn you down without hurting your delicate feelings." He paused, savouring the effect. "Although, you know what? Lick the soles of my shoes. Right here. Do that, and you get your trial period. Well, what do you say? Don't tell me you're too chicken." The silence in the office became deafening. A deathly quiet also fell over the employees outside the door. Humiliation washed over Sarah in a wave, but just as quickly receded, replaced by icy fury. "Dad!" she said clearly, piercingly. The word struck him like an electric shock. Harrison froze, the colour slowly draining from his face. "You're too late, Dad," Sarah continued, her voice ringing with metal. "The moment I might have been ready to kiss the ground, you walk on past a long time ago. Yes, I'm your daughter. Evelyn, remember her? With fiery hair and sky-coloured eyes. She doesn't know I'm here. Doesn't know that for 3 years I've kept old newspaper clippings of your triumphs and her unsent letters, full of pain and, strangely, not a single word of reproach towards you. She's not like you. She never spoke ill of you." Sarah took a step back. "I don't need the position any more. I'll manage. And take care. Dad. She turned and walked out. The frozen employees parted like the waters of the Red Sea. A dead silence fell over the office, broken by a crash from Harrison's office, the sound of an overturned chair. Miss Davies peeked in and saw the boss standing by the window with his back to the door and motioned for everyone to disperse immediately. Harrison told his driver to go to a restaurant, then changed his mind. Home. At home, he poured another drink but couldn't swallow it. Memory, ruthless and vivid, crashed down on him. 20 years. A promising young boxer. And Evelyn. He saw her hair, a waterfall of liquid flame cascading past her waist. He had never seen anything like it. Wanted to see her face. Overtook her. And was lost. For a month he followed her like a shadow, forgetting his training, until she, just as young and naive, responded to his clumsy advances. Her modest apartment, their simple life on 2 student stipends, and then the news of the pregnancy. He didn't ask her to get rid of the child. He simply ran away to another woman, one who had money, connections, and a fancy apartment rented by her rich father. He chose the moment when Evelyn was at lectures, forced himself not to think about the future child. Later, rumours reached him. A daughter had been born. He didn't want to know the name or the date of birth. He was afraid. That other woman didn't bring happiness either. Career, money, an empty house, a marriage without children. The doctor's diagnosis sounded like a sentence. Stress and a wild youth had taken their toll. His wife left. Only work remained, and anger ingrained in his soul. He drowned out memories of Evelyn, of her hair, of the unborn son he had dreamed of. Sometimes it would hit him, seeing his daughter, grown up, like Evelyn, but he chased those thoughts away. Years had turned him into a cynical, ruthless businessman. He knew he was wrong when he lashed out at subordinates, but he'd lost the habit of apologising. A bonus seemed like a much stronger argument to him. And now, a cleaning girl, his daughter. Her words pierced the armour he had built up for 2 decades. That evening, Sarah told Evelyn everything. About the secret job, the meeting with Harrison, about knowing the truth for 3 years. Evelyn listened, growing paler with each word. How could you, my child? Go to him. Work there. Tears and disbelief trembled in Evelyn's voice. Do you still love him? Sarah asked softly. Evelyn shook her head. I don't know, Sarah, but no one else could ever make me forget him. Maybe because he was my first love. Maybe because he hurt me so deeply. But I am grateful to him. For you. They hugged, the 2 closest people in the universe. You need to leave that place, Evelyn said firmly, and go back to full-time studies. No, Mom, Sarah replied just as firmly. I'll leave the company, but I'll study part-time and work. We'll manage. When did you grow up so fast, my fiery little fox? Pride and worry mixed in Evelyn's voice. Well, who raised me? The best mom in the world. Sarah hugged her tightly. A sharp knock at the door made them jump. They exchanged glances, both thinking the same thing. And they weren't wrong. Harrison stood on the doorstep, grey-faced, gaunt, his hands trembling betrayingly. Sarah was scared by his appearance. Mom, she called softly, like when she was a child. Evelyn came into the hallway. She cried out, swayed. Harrison instinctively stepped forward to catch her, but Sarah got there first, putting an arm around her mother's shoulders and leading her into the room. Sat her down on the sofa, came back, gestured for Harrison to come in, left them alone, went into the bathroom herself, splashing icy water on her face for a long time, trying to stop the trembling. Harrison left late. He got Sarah's consent to stay at his company in the very position she had asked for. Tomorrow he would introduce her to the team. It was one of the 2 yeses he had heard in this house, where he had been absent for 2 decades due to his own fault. The second yes came from Evelyn, to his timid request to visit you. They firmly refused the money, the car he was ready to buy Sarah tomorrow, and the offer to move into his country mansion. Mom, he's already served his sentence, Sarah said quietly. 20 years of loneliness, that's a terrible price. Evelyn was silent, staring into space. There was no hatred in her soul, only immense, all-consuming pity and something else she couldn't yet name, as if time had turned back and the same Stephen, her Steve, was by her side again, with whom life had seemed limitless. He had changed. He found the strength to admit that all his resounding success was nothing without the warmth of loved ones. They had found each other, a broken but living family. How they would handle this fragile, hard-won happiness together, only time would tell.